For this project, you're going to need some sort of cardboard or wooden box that you can decorate. I am using these super cute heart-shaped cardboard boxes, and they've got lids, so yeah, it's perfect, and I can put little gifts inside them. For the fake whip or icing, I'm going to be using this silicone. So later on in the video I use clear silicone, and currently I decided to try out with a white silicone. This is kind of the first time I'm trying this method. You also need a silicone gun, so you have to kind of push down the long rectangle metal thing and then pull the whole like metal stick, I don't really know what to call it, and then you can put your silicone inside it and just pump it a few times. Then to get the silicone out, you'll usually have to cut the end off. Different brands do different things, but this is how I've always seen it done when I've done DIY and things like that. You just grab a craft knife or scissors and you can cut that off. Now I pumped about half of this tube out. Don't worry if you don't use it all, you can put some tape over the end. So I just covered the end with a couple of bits of tape in like a cross shape, and you can also just screw on the nozzle as well if you want to kind of secure it in place. It shouldn't matter though, having the tape on should kind of keep it airtight and stop it from drying out. And I'm just using some disposable plastic cups to mix my silicone in. So I did start off by using some dye. I saw this method in a video, I can't remember whose it was, but I watched quite a lot of videos to see how to make this like fake whip, and this didn't work very well. I don't know if it was my kind of ink or if the silicone, I'm not really sure. And just to mention, the silicone I'm using is solvent free and also low odor, so I highly recommend kind of using that kind of silicone if you can find it. So yeah, this kind of came out in this weird grey purpley colour. So then another method I saw was to use some oil paint. This is the oil paint I'm using. It's Gambling. It's a really vibrant pink. So I put a little bit in and I mix this up. So just start off with a little bit and you can always add to it. So I mix this up, and actually I think I decided to just go with the colour this made in the end. I didn't add any more. And I also found with the white silicone, it's quite a lot harder to mix and also pipe compared to the clear silicone. So it's probably something they add to get it that white colour. I would advise always going with clear and just adding your own colours in future, and that's what I will also be doing as well. For the first step, I didn't put it in a piping bag. You can if you want to, if it's easier for you. I will show you how to do that later on in the video, but I simply just took all of my boxes. I took it apart in the end. I think I actually stuck this down out of the video, but it fell apart, so I ended up using my silicone to stick it down. And I also just grabbed a pencil to run around the edge of the lid, so I knew where to stop kind of putting my fake icing or frosting onto the cakes. Now that my silicone is all made up and I've drawn where the lids are, I'm going to go ahead and start frosting my fake cakes. So I'm doing a really rough style here. I want it to look like homemade rather than picture perfect. You can use cake scraping tools if you wish to make it really smooth. It's up to you the kind of style you're looking for. I'm currently not wearing gloves, but luckily my silicone is solvent free and it's also low odour, so I wasn't too worried, because unfortunately I couldn't get any gloves when I went to the shop and bought the silicone. However, I am protecting my surface with some baking paper. This will allow me to pick up the cardboard boxes because I rested a few on it. The silicone won't stick to it. You can just go ahead and like cover all your boxes in the silicone. So I had stuck the smaller box down on this lid with these glue dots and it didn't work very well, so I ended up just putting silicone all over this lid, and then I stuck the smaller box on top, and that worked perfectly. It just glued it in place because the silicone is very strong. So for the box bases I did exactly the same thing. I just went around the edges and avoiding going above the line I drew for the lids so that the lids can still fit on. Don't worry if you like make a mistake and you go above the line, you can always use a craft knife or something similar to kind of scrape off any of that extra silicone. And then I went ahead and stuck this onto the lid, and I tried to get it in the center as much as I could, and I added extra silicone on any parts that I'd missed. And then I did the same again with the big base, just using all of that silicone to cover it up. Then before I moved on to the piping, I went ahead and added some glitter to my frosted cake base while the silicone was kind of still tacky and drying, just thought it would be a cool effect. So let me know what your favourite cake is. Honestly, mine has to be chocolate. I absolutely love chocolate. And then for a second choice, I love like strawberry and cream cake. So let me know what your favourite cake is. So now moving on, we're using a clear silicone. So I did it exactly the same thing as I did with the white silicone tube, putting it in the silicone gun and pumping some out. Again, I think I did around half to maybe 2/3, and I mixed in some glitter, and honestly this looked so pretty. I kind of wish I left it like this, but I went ahead and added some of that same pink, and it did look really nice anyway. It looks really glittery and nice and pink. And this was so much easier to mix. It kind of went down in volume a bit as well. I put this in a piping bag and I pushed it down to the end. You need to snip the end off and then push it down. If you have kind of a credit card or a card shaped thing, it's a lot easier than doing it with your hands. Then you want to twist up the end, so I twisted it up and I taped it. Then you want to grab another piping bag. So actually my second piping bag is a bit bigger. It doesn't matter if it's the same size, I just happen to have it. You can tape the end of this and you can save this for later or go ahead and use it now. Now the purpose of using two piping bags is that you can easily change out the nozzles and not have to fill a million piping bags with loads of different nozzles or piping tips. So I have this kind of piping tip holder and a piping tip. So you just put that inside the holder and snip the end of your outer piping bag off until the piping tip can poke out. Then you put your filled piping bag inside and screw the end on. This just kind of keeps the pipe and nozzle in place. It's not essential, just if you have one. I got it from Tala Baking, from one of my local shops, and it came with this piping tip set and that was in it. So I'm actually using this kind of hobby wheel that I have, and I'm using the baking paper to kind of protect it as well. And I just went ahead and just started piping. Don't worry too much about this, it's more about having kind of a steady and slow hand. Mine is not perfect, as you can see it's going a bit wonky, but the piping tip does pretty much 90% of the work for you. So if you just go slow and steady, you know, it should look pretty decent. So if you make a mistake and you want to kind of adjust your silicone frosting a little bit, you can use a cocktail stick or something similar like that and just gently kind of nudge it into place. I did that on one part, but unfortunately I forgot to film it. So yeah, you can just kind of use that to move it out the way or move it where you need it. Then I decided to change my piping tip, giving it a little bit of practice on this scrap piece of paper that I had, and then just going ahead. So yeah, I did the edges here of the lids just in this, like, I don't even know what these piping techniques are called, I kind of just wing it. So just doing this wavy kind of style. And don't worry too much if you don't have like a turning wheel, just kind of move it carefully and go around. It helps if your kind of base frosting is fully dry as well, then you can touch it without worrying too much. And then I changed the piping tip again. I'm using more of a shell shape, I think it was, and going around the bottom edge, making it look like really fancy. And I wanted to add some more decoration, so I have these like flat back pearls in these purpley colours and white, I think, and pink, and I went ahead and put it on the joining parts of like my wavy sort of pattern there. So I was really happy with how this was looking. You can go ahead and add as much or as little of the fake frosting as you want. I got to this point and I was like, I don't want to really ruin it, and I just wanted to add a last finishing touch even, and I used this really big star tip and I used some of the white silicone and I put it in a piping bag in exactly the same way as I did with the pink icing that I made. So this was really hard to squeeze. Like, this white silicone is really difficult. This took quite a bit of power. Don't know if you can see, I'm kind of struggling there, but I did this big dollop of like whipped cream, and then I grabbed a fake cherry. It's super shiny and I just think it adds a really nice touch, and I went ahead and added just a bit more of the white silicone around the edge to kind of fill out the big dollop. Then I left everything to dry, I think overnight, and then I could peel it off of the baking paper. It was so satisfying to do that. And I can go ahead and add some sweetened chocolate. So I took the lids off. I got this hamper shred to put inside because the inside is kind of ugly and I didn't paint it. You could paint it if you want, make it a bit prettier. So I thought this was a good alternative, nice and quick. So I just filled up both of my boxes with that, and then I cut open my heart chocolates. I opened up my love hearts, and I also got these like Haribo heart sweets as well. And yeah, just filled it up and it makes a great present. Let me know what you're going to put inside yours. You can also add little notes, you know, letters, cards and things like that. And yeah, fill it up and give it as a treat to someone. So I really hope that you enjoyed watching this video. If you got all this way, thank you so much. Leave a comment below and I'll hope to see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye.